I used to think that the meaning of life was something I was supposed to figure out. Like there was one right answer and I just hadn't found it yet. But the more I think about it, the more I realize there isn't just one answer. Maybe the meaning of life is something we create. Maybe it's about giving life meaning. And I don't think that meaning is fixed. I think it changes as we change. In metaphysics, we talked about the idea of flux, that everything is always changing. We are constantly becoming something new. At the same time, we also talked about the idea that we are and are not the same person. And I think that really matters, because if we're always changing, then our meaning in life can't be one permanent thing. It has to evolve as we evolve. I'm 22 years old, and I've already seen a lot. I've seen illness and death and pain and the kind of suffering that just doesn't make sense. But I've also seen love and growth and moments that feel genuinely meaningful. So for me, life isn't one or the other. It's both at the same time. It's messy and it doesn't have a clear answer. That messiness actually starts to make more sense when I think about Play-Doh. Instead of being one simple, consistent thing, we're made up of different parts, like reason, emotion, and desire, all pulling in different directions. When desire takes over, it's easy to chase quick pleasure. When emotion takes over, everything can feel overwhelming. And without some kind of balance, life starts to feel chaotic. So meaning starts to look less like finding one answer and more like trying to hold on to those parts in a way that actually works. Plato describes a good life as a kind of inner harmony, and that idea makes sense when I think about things like anxiety and overthinking. When everything feels out of control, life feels scattered. But when things feel even slightly more balanced, there's a sense of stability, and that's where meaning starts to show up. It also changes how I think about being a good person. The Ring of Gyes raises the important question of whether people would still act morally if they could get away with anything. And the uncomfortable answer is that most people wouldn't, which makes it seem like meaning isn't just about doing whatever you want. It comes from choosing how you act, even when nothing is forcing you to. You can actually see that play out in Groundhog Day. Phil starts off chasing pleasure and control and selfishness, and it doesn't lead anywhere good. He's stuck. Even though he's technically free to do anything he wants, it's only when he starts caring about other people and working on himself that his life begins to feel meaningful. Nothing about his situation changes, but he does. That lines up with Aristotle's idea of eudaimonia, which isn't just happiness in the sense of feeling good. It's more about living well over time. He describes it as the ultimate goal of life, something we're always aiming at, whether we realize it or not. Not something temporary, but something built through how we live. Part of that comes from the idea that humans have a function, not in a strict or limiting way, but in the sense that we're meant to think and make choices and act with intention. So meaning isn't just about existing or reacting to things. It comes from actually engaging with life and choosing how to move through it. That's where the idea of virtue fits in too. It's not about being perfect. It's about becoming better, about functioning in the best way you can. And that feels a lot closer to what meaning actually is. Not something you suddenly find, but something that you build over time. At the same time, I started to question how much of that is really in our control. Movies like Ex Machina and Minority Report make it hard to ignore how influenced we are. In Ex Machina, the question of whether a machine can have free will or real emotions starts to blur the line between something programmed and something choosing. And if that line isn't clear, then it raises the question of how different we really are. In Minority Report, the idea that actions can be predicted before they happen makes it seem like choice may not be as open as we think. If something is already going to happen, then what does it mean to choose it? I don't think I have a clear answer to that. But if we are shaped by everything around us, we still experience life as if we are choosing. And meaning seems to come from that experience, from how we respond to what happens, not just what happens to us. Even the last temptation of Christ sits right in that same tension between following a path that feels predetermined and wanting something else entirely. That pull between responsibility, desire, sacrifice, and comfort feels very human, and it makes meaning look less like a clear direction and more like something we work through. For me, the meaning of life isn't one fixed answer waiting to be found. It's something that comes out of everything. The good, the bad, the confusing, the painful. It's in feeling deeply even when it hurts, in loving people even when it's messy, in growing even when it's uncomfortable. And honestly, it's not about the big things we usually think about, not money or status or having everything figured out. It's in smaller things, the luxury of time, of health, of a quiet mind, slow mornings, meaningful conversations, feeling secure in who you are. So I don't think the meaning of life is something we're given. I think it's something we create through how we live, how we treat other people, and how we choose to respond to everything life throws at us. And if that meaning keeps changing, that doesn't make it any less real. If anything, it might be what makes it real at all.